Hi, Muchismo Eugene, and welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please consider liking, subscribing, sharing the video if you found it helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Please pass it on. Someone would benefit from it, I'm sure. You know, the narcissist, formerly before, the wave of the internet and all of this vast amount of information that we now can get at the push of a button, they had, prior to that, had minions that just could not do without them. But now you're seeing even the minions, the allies, the supporters, most often who are narcissists themselves or heavily narcissistic. They're actually deserting the narcissist as well. The empath, we will be we will be put in isolation by them when we begin to isolate. They isolate themselves from us before we begin to even know what isolation in a good way was. So the narcissist is always trying to isolate themselves from us. The silent treatments, even living in the same house or domains in business, at the workplace, they'll go another way, another hallway, just to avoid someone to punish them. But the minions now and the followers of the narcissist are pretty much nowhere to be found. And I'm going to show you why this is, because when you have a room full of people that are self-centered, that need the attention from everybody and anybody they can get it from, and when that attention is not on them, even for a second, the appeal of that room is no longer there. And so after trying and coming up unsuccessful in that room to get that attention, which everybody's starving for it, to come up empty-handed, that individual with that dark energy is going to possibly and more than likely leave or stand in a corner somewhere and peck on their phone. And so now what narcissists are having to do, they're having to go out and, they're having to go outside of their comfort zone, when before, people would come to the narcissist's house every weekend to play poker, play bingo, play dominoes, play dice. They would bring food for the cookout, and this is a thing about that cookout too. Often people who are takers, they will throw the shindigs at their house for one or two reasons. This is not everybody, but if you think back when you were a supporter of this foolishness, you would hang out every Saturday. That would be the place to be. And if you didn't realize that then, you do now. You were always the supporter. You always were the contributor to that backyard barbecue every weekend over Susan's house or Daryl's house. It would always be their house or their place of choice. And so now you see that you were the contributor. You were bringing the macaroni salad. You were bringing the beer. They could count on you to bring a specific thing. And when you think about it, the only thing they contributed was their residence. Yeah, however, they may have provided, let's say, the propane for the barbecue grill. Well, that's a very small thing in the grand scheme of things. And you may say, well, okay, well, at least they supported it. They used their house. I didn't have to wash dishes. I didn't have to do this, that, or other. Well, that's a small trade-off for somebody who really, truly wanted not the physical things you brought. They wanted the energetic presence that you brought. So they were double dipping. They wanted you more so for your presence, so you could give them the attention. You didn't go there to get the attention. You didn't get the attention you thought you were going there to get. It was not a mutual exchange. And it didn't even feel such, because they were I don't know if you call it something in the circus, They were the guy with the big hat, the ringleader. That's what you call them. And they were the one who were orchestrating and summoning the troops. And so these shindigs that you used to frequent, they would always end up 5 minutes in once you went over and you sat where you normally sat. Everybody would play in their position. And if anyone got out of position, you'd hear about it. You would sense and feel, and you would notice that tension. And if you look back, that narcissist was always moving around. They never could sit down, but you passed it off because they were the hostess or the host. It wasn't that they couldn't sit down. It was because to keep moving, it was the dopamine hits that everybody there were giving them. They were never sitting down and giving any one individual or one individual group of people undivided attention. They were just sprinkling little tidbits of attention on you, them, this one, that one. And it was never a consistent interaction. It was never an organic. It didn't feel organic. And so now you know. It was all about you bringing your aura and your existence there. If you're an empath, this is how you would recognize it now. But of course, minions are backing away from so-said narcissists as well, because they are seeing that these individuals, much like themselves, want all the attention, and they're not giving any. And so all of these groupings of people are so selfish and self-centered till now, with this age and this movement of information, even those minions are realizing that the word's out. And they also are recognizing that people are giving them the cold shoulder, or the stiff arm, if you will, the mental stiff arm. They're pretty much saying, without even saying it, I'm not buying what you're selling today. And so now these narcissists and the minions alike are having to outsource. They're having to come out of a comfort zone. They're having to move around a lot more than they really want to. And so this is debilitating. They're not equipped to exert this amount of energy, because they will exert a spurt of energy in order to get a quick, instant return. And they're all about interest, huge interest. When they deposit something into your life or your presence, they're looking for a quick, astronomical return. They'll ask you how you're doing, just to let you open the floodgates of all of your problems. They get energy off of that. They get supply off of that, fuel off of that. And they'll sit there, and you'll find that a lot of them seem to be good listeners. All they're doing is taking in this information from you to later use against you. And they're also using your stories to cut and paste, to give them a story to appear to be relevant in a conversation. If they go somewhere and someone's talking about something, you may talk about something you did at your workplace. They will listen attentively, and what you're doing is schooling the narcissist in a script. They are reading your script, and they're going to apply that in the conversation down the line, so they don't look out of place. And if they miss or forget certain parts of that story, they will abruptly have a backup plan, especially their electronic device. They'll grab their phone as they're coming into a roadblock or a wall of forgetting what they learned from you. And they'll be like, oh, you guys excuse me, I got a call. I got to go make this call. This is important. And they'll come back to that table or that interacting action, and they will never, ever mention that conversation again. They'll be like, finish what you were telling us. They'll be like, oh man, I forgot. I just got this call and now I'm distracted. I can't I don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm trying to process this situation right now. And so it is forgiven. And in that example I just gave you is seemingly something that happens all the time in life. It does happen all the time in life. But the difference is that a person that really has a story with continuity, if you ask them to say, oh, finish your story, they will look at you with a little bit of dignity, little bit of self-respect and consideration and say, you know what, can I talk about it another time? I just got this call. Or they will try to give some closure to that story. They won't abruptly just say, oh, I don't want to talk about that. They won't give you the cold shoulder or water in your face like, forget you. Now, you wouldn't recognize this before you awaken, but we're talking awakened empaths and chosen ones here. You've been through this before. So this is the difference of how you can recognize if you've been in the presence of a person that's giving you a story that doesn't even belong to them. And so this, that, and all the likes are the things that are causing narcissists to really just run out of friends, fake camaraderies. They're losing the minions like nobody's business. And for no other reason, if for no other reason, people are just sick and tired of other people's chaos. Because whether you're narcissist or not, there is chaos everywhere around us. You have to look hard to find something good and harmonious in the world, because we're being force-fed nothing but garbage, chaos, divide, and all the things. And then they try to compensate with sporting events. A one-day sporting event for a couple of hours is not enough to compensate a person who does not have a consistent peace of mind. It's a tease. And everyone on this planet is searching for that one thing, peace. Because peace equals happiness. You ask people what they want more than anything, I just want to be happy. But they're not willing to do what it takes and requires to be happy. Happy, you must be content with self in order to have that peace of mind. And thereby you end up with happiness. Because happiness is not a smile. Happiness is not being overjoyed. Happiness is just having a still contentment. Being in solitude without being concerned who likes it or not. That is happiness. Knowing someone else that you care about is doing well. Being okay and at peace with self and extending that peace with self to those who you love, care, and appreciate and respect in this world. That's happiness to me. So they're losing the fight big time. So don't even worry about it. Our main focus as awakened empaths and souls that have a calling is to just continue to just be the best you that you can possibly be. Help those who you're led to help without being dogmatic, without being reckless, without being gullible, without being naive. Be led by your intuition and the spirit that lives in you from God, and you'll be fine. That being said, bless.